Well, good morning, West Ham fans. Am I the only one who was a little excited by the Steidten Lopetegui interview yesterday? So, a very good morning to you, my friends. Now, yesterday we had the double acts. Not Walker and Wise, not the two Ronnies. We had Steidten and Lopetegui, and they did a press conference at the London Stadium. You heard Shane Thomas from the Athletic. We got his comments immediately after immediately after the actual press conference itself. Obviously, there was, as with all press conferences, a broadcast section, an embargo section as well. I'm sure more of that will come out in the next day or so in terms of what was said in the non-broadcasted section of the press conference. But firstly, I got a bit excited. Over the tail end of last week, I was nervous, and I actually said, the panic buttons, because we didn't hear nothing. We've heard nothing from the club, heard nothing from anyone really. And that sort of press conference, it was obviously a longer press conference than we used to. It was, a good 20, 25 minutes in terms of the broadcasting section on the official West Ham YouTube channel, and I would urge you to go and listen to it. If anything, to hear how Tim speaks. I did not think his voice would be like that. I don't know why. I thought he'd have a bit more of a deeper German voice, but it was. But anyway, he does a job. We've got Edson Alvarez, Kudus, Mavropanos, Luis Guilherme. Wherever he does, he's doing a good job. But I didn't think he'd talk like that. I don't know why. And I came out of watching that feeling really, really excited about the season. A little bit horny about it, like football horny. Because they were playing to what we wanted to hear, and the words. Obviously, they were saying the right words. Now it's about the actions. But there was 5 things that I picked up on which really got me excited. Really got me excited for this new era. And it is a new era. It's a new way of working. It's a new way of management, coaching, with a technical director. And, in terms of the dynamics, I think it's great that Tim's front and centre alongside Julian, because actually that is the partnership, and they look like they're in control. And that was and I found that really, really exciting to see. We hear about it all the time, but actually seeing it, and it was interesting, when they're talking about transfers, Julian said his bit, but actually I think, Tim, you'd probably know more than me, and that sort of reaffirms what we were saying about Julian is the head coach, and when Steidten was when they were looking for the next head coach of West Ham, they wanted someone with good communications, who and actually something he mentioned actually in the thing was bringing through the youth players. So again, that's another point that was interesting. He made a point of saying that was one of the things we saw in Julian, to bring through the youth players, and obviously his experience, particularly in the Spanish youth system for many years, under 17, 18, 20, 19, 20s. All through that he's been he's used to working with youth team players. But there's 5 things I pulled up which I just wanted to just give you my points, and I'm sure if you've watched it, you've got your own key points out of it as well. I think it's really important because it's as I said, it is the future. First one, bring the noise. Julian, for 4 or 5 times in the interview, was talking about the noise. He wants us to be noisy. He wants us to be disruptive. He wants us to, break away from the norm. And, he just kept on saying about the noise. We want to bring a noise. We want to be noisy. We want not just the fans to be noisy, but us as a team. And I really, really liked that turn of phrase, bring the noise. He wants us to be noisy. He wants us to be the underdogs punching above our weight, and that's what he wants, and that's what we want as well. So there was an alignment of what we want, and we're not going into next season thinking we're going to win the Premier League. Only about probably 3 teams realistically think at the beginning of the season they've got a chance. But what we want is to bring in. We want to be disruptive. Maybe break into the top six. Maybe break into the top four. Fuck it. Get into a final or get into the semis of a domestic cup. That's what we want. We want to bring the noise. And then I think he was saying about the London Stadium and now, the noise. And when he was at Sevilla, it was the atmosphere, the thing that took him in. And one day he wanted to be a part of that, and he is now. But I love that phrase, bring the noise. It's got so many meanings. It's got meanings from, in terms of the Premier League, hierarchy, bringing the noise, being disruptive. It's got a bit of East End about it. You know what I mean? It's like you know, punching above our weight and, underdogs and, fighting to the end. And I like it. I like it. That got me going. That got me horny. That did. I was like, yes, Shien, keep it coming, son. We want to think we can win every game. Such a change in mentality in terms of what he's saying. Saying that, his actual words were saying, we believe we're going to be able to win more. The fans always want to win. We want to win. I want us to have a mentality with each match. We want to think that we're able to win. We know that's not possible, but having that ambition is important. And that, again, is, a breath of fresh air from what we've had previously. We've had a very risk adverse. Now, I'm not saying that Lopetegui is going to play like Ange Postecoglou. And actually, I think the Moose actually said that. You said, we want attacking football. Are you going to be like that? No. He's going to be pragmatic at times. But that, just having that as a mantra, we want to think we can win. I love that. I truly believe West Ham can beat anyone on their day. If the stars align, the fans are up for it at London Stadium, I think we could beat anyone. I genuinely believe we could. And we've done it. We've shown it. We've shown it before. We've beaten Arsenal there. We've beaten Chelsea. We've beaten Liverpool. We've beaten Man United. We should have beaten Man City. And actually, we did knock Man City out of the cup, albeit it was on penalties. But the top sides, that's what we need. We need that to be a fortress and build upon that. And having this winning mentality, again, it's going to be. He's saying the right words. Let's wait till we go to Man City away. We go to Man United away, Arsenal away, Liverpool away, and see how we're set up. See what we're looking for. Now, based on his time at Wolves, pretty much went to, he was, despite the fact being sort of initially the relegation, they did play to win at some of these grounds as well. So, of course, some grounds they don't, but having that mentality, love it. He's doing well in my eyes. From Tim, it will be a very busy summer for us. This was music to a lot of people's ears. We know we're sort of very much on the running on fumes in terms of the squad depth, and particularly with the injury to Edson. Again, they sort of didn't necessarily speak about that in terms of timeframes, but it was very much he's a bit, he's doing his rehab, and as we reported, they reckon about up to 6 weeks, which would mean he'd probably be a touch and go for the beginning of the season, possibly. But these things tend to depend about how quick people heal. But what was really interesting about because obviously it was great that Tim was there to ask questions, have questions asked of him, and he said it's going to be a busy summer for us. He spoke about some of the players. I'm not going to talk about specific players, but the board and the owner, have put us in a really good financial position. We don't have to sell to buy. Now, there was no figure put on the budget, but I wouldn't want this to put a figure on the budget, because once that figure's out, every Tom, Dick, or Harry in their Premier League and all over the leagues know we've got X amount of money in the bank. It could be 90 million. It could be 150 million. It could be 110 million. It could be, we don't know, but it's a sizable budget. And as Tim said, we do not need to sell to buy. Now, we may have to cut corners in some areas. I'm not, might have a few loan deals or loan deals obligations or a few cheaper bit. It's not going to be, we're not going to bring in half a dozen £30 million player. But as you said, We're in a really good job financially. He can't give us specifics, but it will be a very busy summer for us for sure, both comings and goings. And as I said, we have been linked with almost 150 players as the only channel which keeps abreast of all that. So that was another great little bit from him. Probably one of the biggest takeaways from it, from a West Ham fan's perspective, was when he was asked questions about his style of football. Now, what I liked about it, he said, look, before I start talking about my philosophy, previous regime, David Moyes, fantastic job, a lot of respect. They did really well. But we have big ambitions to take another step here at the club. The fans always want us to win. We believe we're going to be able to win more if we defend and attack well. We want to take advantage of all our strengths. I love attacking football, but I also love counter-attacking football. And we don't need to think about one way. In football, there are lots of ways, and we have to choose our way. And obviously, he was talking also about in-game management, changing things if things don't work, learning if we're coming up against a similar side, learning, changing, adapting, saying the right things. He's saying the right things. Again, talk is cheap. Shut up and dance. 1990s era reference there. But he's starting off on the right foot. In my opinion, he's starting off on the right foot. We know he's a workaholic. We know he's been working tirelessly. He hasn't. I mean, to be honest, he started getting paid today. Really? So, you know what I mean? So his contract started the 1st of July. So that's why we had the thing today. But I love attacking football. Love it. Yeah, totally. And that's something which Tim said when he was looking for the manager. He said we were looking for coaches who had the right philosophy, the way we want to play, who can coach players, who communicates. Obviously, speaks about the fact that Julian speaks 4 languages, but he speaks 3 and Basque. I know Basque is a separate language, but it's a dialect. I'm not going to get that. And how he was convinced the first time he met him that he was the man for the job. And this is coming from what I like about this yesterday was it came from the horse's mouth. Didn't come through, no disrespect to X or Sean or Jacob or Fabrizio. It came from them, which is what we've wanted to hear. And I think Shane mentioned that it was the only time that he's actually been able to interview Tim as well. And lastly, he talks about the club being a family club, mainly in respect of Lucas Paqueta. Lucas was a few questions asked about him in terms of going forward and how he is. And Tim said he spoke with him when he was in Brazil. He met with him, so he was watching games. Love the way he sort of threw it in there. And that was the question directed to Tim. And then Julian was asked another question. And before he said anything, answer that question, he then referred back to Lucas and Edison as well. But Lucas, he goes, we know Lucas and his family have suffered a lot, but I like seeing him smile in his last match because he was playing good football. We are his family. This club is his family, and we're going to take care of him. We look forward to having him play with us on the pitch. And just by saying that, it just, for me, there's been a bit of disjointedness, I think, towards the end of the tenure of David Moyes, and it seems that he wants to bring a family atmosphere back. He wants to bring that tight-knit unit, and that goes along with the first point about making the noise. It's like, to be disruptive, you have to have a sense of togetherness because, no one likes us, we don't care, but you know what I mean? Is that type of mentality. And this phrase, I think, again, just gets the West Ham fans on board. It does for me. I was shitting myself like tail end of last week, thinking, what is going on? But there's nothing. And to have this interview today, this press conference, I think it really did just not allay fears, but get me on a good keel, get me on a good foot ahead of the summer transfer window. But obviously, pre-season starting on Wednesday. Obviously, when the home kit gets leaked, it's already been leaked, and hope you like it. I've seen it's very good. I think it's lovely. And as I said, and people talk about the badge. that's what the badge is meant to look like, the 1965 badge, and it does. Obviously, we've got the surround, but the colour. So people say, oh, it's white. It's not white. It's baby blue. It's that bluey 1965 one. Can't wait to see Brian Deere wearing one. God bless Stag. And that's it. And that's it. I mean, obviously, if you've watched the press conference, let me know what your takeaways were. You might thought it was all bollocks, and that's your prerogative. And you know me, I'm a half glass full type person. So, but I came away with it really enthused, looking forward to seeing this new regime. Obviously, talk is cheap. You can say the right words, but then it's how it performs on the pitch. So when we kick off against Aston Villa, I'm not bothered about pre-season. Good to see a style of play, a style of football maybe. But realistically, it's that first game against Aston Villa at home to see whether it's going to work. In all honesty. Anyway, keep an eye on the channel. We'll have loads of news, reviews, opinions. There'll be plenty of stuff about transfer rumours and stuff as always. Till next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my friends, and I'll see you soon. Much love. Bye.